Welcome back to Metal Rules TV, where the underground meets the playground. Here we are with part 2, Evoken. Yes. So tell me, guys, have you ever had pizza in a church in Belgium by any chance?
It's funny you mentioned that. Now
I've scoffed down 12 pies myself.
Wow.
We had. We played a show in Belgium. It was
on
a
Easter
church
Sunday.
On Easter Sunday. Well, actually, it was a day. Might have been a day after Easter Sunday. You think?
Close enough.
So what happened was on the side, like of the church, inside that is a long table, and there was a bunch of Belgian people making pizzas, little pizzas. Like as people would walk by, they're banging their head to go get a beer. They come over to get pizza. So I mean, it's a fascinating story.
I couldn't stop myself. How was Belgian pizza?
Better than Ohio pizza.
Yeah, Ohio pizza was like cardboard with the ragu sauce.
Yeah, that's
pretty much it.
It smelled like shit.
Sounds like Ohio in general.
We actually had the strangest pizza out in Scranton. It was called, what was it called, Maria?
Old Forge.
Old Forge style pizza.
Whoa.
And it was like a croissant with like
Oh my gosh.
hot ketchup on
Is
it.
that how you normally pronounce it?
Croissant.
It's like a croissant.
It was like a croissant with like hot ketchup and
Like a
like
clue or
American cheese. Was it like American cheese?
Yeah, it was like rolled out Pillsbury dough
Yeah, really.
with
Yeah.
with like a mix between a mix between ketchup and SpaghettiOs sauce
I would order five of those and throw them right in the
And
garbage.
American cheese.
and American cheese,
Oh,
like the squares, like the singles.
And they only serve it square.
That's not
They
even
only-
real cheese.
They serve sheets only. You can't. They're not round. They're like sheets.
Yeah, they're like square, like
You try to be like a...
it was nasty.
Trying to be like awful pizzas, but
It was awful.
shitty Forge pizza.
yeah, Old Forge Pizza. If you're in Scranton,
Don't
get
get
Old
it.
Forge Pizza.
If you're in Ohio,
But
don't
if
get
you're in
pizza,
Trenton, go
period.
to Papa's Tomato Pies.
Oh yeah, you guys been that's excellent. Good call.
When you play on stage, do you usually wear mandals? Or is that
Mandals?
just on your off time?
What's the name of this?
Sandals for a man.
Oh, like these.
Oh yeah.
We won't let
Yeah, it looks funnier if I'm stepping on pedals with these, so I avoid it. But when it's 98 degrees, I like my feet to breathe a little bit.
You wear a vest too. That would be really cool. You wear mandals and like a suede vest.
With the things,
Yeah.
the tassels hanging off.
Yeah.
How gloomy is that?
I always avoid the tassels.
Can't get more gloomy than that.
Speaking of Doom standards, lengthy songs. You guys feel like that's kind of par for the course? Like, and do you find that constricting? Like, when you start writing a song, all right, well, it has to be 8 minutes long.
No.
It's a good point you said that because our old guitar player Nick was still in the band, the original member. He wouldn't approve of a song unless it reached a 10-minute mark.
Wow.
But
If it was under 10 minutes, it would be like, is it brutal enough?
you got to think of it this way. Like, whenever we write songs now, it's not so much that we determine how long the song is.
It
When
just
something
takes-
plays slower, it takes longer to play. So even though a lot
Just
of
to
our
get
songs,
through a measure of something takes,
if you would shut the fuck up. If you play like a 10-minute song, like a lot of our songs, we don't repeat riffs. We try to like keep it like a symphony, like one riff to the next riff to the next riff. And if you play a song, it takes longer to play them. So it's not really that we plan them out; they just happen to happen that way. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, we've heard those songs put on like high speed where it says like chipmunk, and they go by at like 2 minutes. So it's just the natural way. Slower songs take longer to play.
The heaviest song I ever heard was in a record store. Somebody had a 45 of Journey's Separate Ways, but it was a 45, but they put it on 35.
35? Oh,
That was
33?
heavy as shit.
I actually used to do
That's your
that.
standard.
I used to do that. Play the 45 at a slower pace. It's actually something that sound actually cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
So you.
That's about it. I was going to get into influences, but I think we discussed that, didn't we? Like, we already know you're both Dead Can Dance fans.
yes.
There's some other things that, maybe some more metal-ish influences.
Well, obviously, the first Black Sabbath song, pretty much sets the standards, and then
Bands like Hawkwind,
everything gets heavy from there. King
Crimson.
Crimson.
We have Celtic Frost, Hellhammer, Thurgoth on Disembowelment, Winter, and then there's things that are outside of metal. So we don't basically pigeonhole ourselves just to stay within the metal parameters. We have other influences outside of that.
Okay.
Cool.
So I guess the last and the most important question is, are you honored to appear on Metal Rules TV and why?
Why? Because we were asked out of all the bands in the world came to us and asked us to be here. And we're very
That's an
proud.
answer. That's an answer.
Actually,
I feel honored, seriously.
it's honest. You know, it's not somebody. It's somebody that's in their home interviewing bands and just talking. It's not set up. It's not pre-screened. It's just actually people that are fans of the music having a good time, having a good chat. So to me, that's the most honest part about it, and that's why it's actually really cool to be here doing that. This is you think about it, that really doesn't exist this day and age. Everything's got to be planned and pre-screened and this and that. And everybody's got to look cool, and they got to ask the
We're
right
definitely not
question.
cool.
We're not cool. We're not cool.
Exactly. And
We're idiots.
We're all degenerates
Yeah.
having a good time. So that's why I think that's what makes it really cool to be here. And if I had the new album, we'd hold it up and say Boys comes out July 31st on Profound Law Records.
I was gonna say that's your next thing. You can plug anything you want. Would you like to go? This is an interrupter,
Yes.
so go ahead.
No, Profound Lore, July 31st, Moores comes out. It's basically the first album that's been really pushed as far as letting people know it's out there.
I hate did let me know about your album though.
They were good to us. I'm not going to lie.
Just so you know.
Once the guy,
alright.
there's one guy who worked for them that was.
Ola, he was the.
He loved us. He gave us a great review about the Caress of the Void. But when we did the split for the next CD, Olaf didn't work there. Olaf? He didn't work there anymore. And the
I
guy
miss Olaf.
it seemed like the guy just didn't care. He's like, oh, it sounds nice. That was his review of our album. It sounds nice.
He was a good guy.
That's when you know the guy didn't even listen to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it sounds nice.
Ola, he really put a lot of effort into the Caress of the Void, and once he left to do his own thing, Paul took over, and that basically he's a good guy, but he was just something that he was his interests were here, there, and everywhere, and he wasn't really focused on doing certain things, so it kind of lost our interest. So
But we're still shocked that people want to stand behind us and give us the funds to record a CD. So we're always grateful for that. Whoever steps up and does that,
You guys been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
92,
Yep.
20 years this year. Yeah, this past April actually.
Let's just say this is your 20th anniversary party right here.
Yay!
Party to everyone. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. The man of 1,000 words. Bye,
Metal
everyone.
rules.
Take care.
Do me.